Hello, the Orville fans. This is David Whitney. It is time for After the Orville. Welcome back to After the Orville with your host, David Whitney. And it's been a while since I've made an After the Orville, and that's basically because there are so many people making great Orville shows right now that I just couldn't come up with anything as clever and as funny as them. So right now, they're all trying to figure out what happened with Identity Part 1. They're all very excited about it. I know I was. It was a fantastic episode. And so what I want to do on this episode is make 10 bold predictions for Identity Part 2. And cue the music. Okay, right away, let's get to the 10 predictions. I'm going to talk about the 2 predictions that are kind of floating around the most, and I'm going to give 8 predictions that are mine. Okay, the 2 that are going around the most are that somehow the Krill are going to get involved in this fight, and so we're not sure how that would happen. The second one is that Isaac will destroy all the Kaylon himself, either by reprogramming them or some other clever way to destroy them. So I think both of those are really good ideas and have a lot of validity. I predict that the Planetary Union is going to launch a defensive force against the Armada approaching them, and that we're going to see some cool space explosions, and we're going to see some planetary ships getting destroyed, and a large portion of these flying guns that are coming at Earth. So that's my first prediction. I predict at the conclusion of this, however Isaac saves the Orville, which I'm assuming he's going to save it somehow, that he's going to put on his Mr. Potato Head pieces as an ironic end to show the Kaylon that he has a sense of humor after all. Let's see, I predict that Claire's love for Isaac will have an effect on the outcome of this episode. Isaac's eyes have been blue while the rest of the Kaylon are red, and I think that's simply to differentiate who's who in this. However, I predict Isaac's eyes are going to go red during Part 2. I also predict that Tala and Bortus will get a chance to fight these Kaylon hand to hand, and I predict Tala is going to rip off a few arms. At least one arm of these Kaylon are going to get ripped off by Tala. Lamar will get to take apart one of these Kaylon as well, so I predict that Lamar is going to be an integral part of defeating the Kaylon, possibly. I think the Doctor's kids, will plead with Isaac for their lives, and it will be very touching, and it's going to make people cry. And then finally, I predict that Isaac is going to reveal his head cannon. His weapon is going to come out of his head, and it's going to be far superior to the other Kaylon's cannons. They all seem to have the two head cannons coming out. I'm thinking that he's either got 3 cannons or he's got one big cannon, and that his beam is different. Maybe it's a solid beam. And so those are my amazing and yet probably completely wrong predictions for Identity Part 2 of the Orville. This is David with After the Orville. I can't wait to see what happens. We'll see you guys. I might do a follow-up to this after Identity Part 2 and to see how many of these I got right, if any. Thanks. We'll talk to you later. Bye.